Here it comes. He struck him out, and Morris has a no-hitter.
There's a drive to left. That one is long gone.
You don't want to walk you.
There's a long drive to right, and it is a home run for Gibson. A three-run homer. The Tigers take it 8-4.
There's a long drive all the left down the line. If it stays there, it's gone. It's a fair ball. It's the facing of the upper deck. Home run number 50 for Central fielder.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roar Live right here on mymichigantv.com and also streaming on the Gavana Broadcast Network. So much to talk about. We were off last week due to some scheduling issues, but hey, we're back. The Tigers are rolling. The Pistons have been eliminated. NBA basketball is still in full effect. Let's see. What else are we missing here? We can talk about this tonight, Co. The schedules have been released.
That's all I can say.
And, yeah, there's so much to talk about. So much to talk about. What do you want to go first? Tigers, since this is the Roar, you want to do that first?
Hey, man, it's your show.
Hey, my show. I'm just along for the ride.
We can do Tigers. Let's go.
This is Jared's show,
Yes,
man.
Jared. Shout to Jared.
Yeah. So listen, the Tigers took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox. Javi comes up with his second 3-run homer the other night against the Red Sox in the 10th or 11th inning, and Justin Malloy walks one off, walk-off single against Aroldis Chapman, who I watched that last night. Aroldis was throwing like 99 miles an hour.
That's all he does.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So
101,
it's
104, 102.
Pretty impressive.
He can get up there.
Yeah. So the Tigers are, from what we've seen, this is their best start since '84.
Yep. What do you think that means?
Well, I'm not going to go out on a limb to say, if the pitching stays well, I could see them, making a run for it. But hey, this team's kind of got that gritty magic.
Flaherty's got to get better. Flaherty's got
yes.
to be better.
He's kind of struggled a little bit. And then Mize is out, so they went with the chaos the other night. And then, of course, Olsen and pitching well. Job's pitching well. The bullpen's doing good. And they just sent down Jace Young, which I'm going to be honest with you. I think they need to just keep him down there.
Yeah.
Let him play it out. Maybe bring him back up in August. If he's such a high prospect kind of guy, I don't know if he really be considered a prospect now since he's played so much, but just give him his bats. Let him come. I mean, you got a million infielders, and then they brought up the mighty Akil Baddoo last night.
I heard that.
Yeah, I knew he was down in AAA.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny, Co?
I thought he got lost.
Well, I did too, but I looked at his age. He's only 26.
Yeah, he's young. He's still young.
And he's already been with the Tigers for 3 seasons?
Yeah.
They picked him up he's a Rule 5 from Minnesota. So maybe these guys it's just taking them a little bit to, click.
Yeah. Yeah. They are. But you know what? I'm gonna do something here.
What's that?
Remember Al Avila?
Yeah.
He's a part of this.
Yes, he is.
People want to throw him under the
Absolutely.
bus, and he wasn't this, and he didn't do that, or whatever. But I'm gonna name some names here, and I think this is correct. I don't know. Mize,
Yeah.
Torque,
Yes.
Carp,
Carp, yep.
Scooble.
Yes. Yeah, they're all Al Avila's guys. It is funny, though. I just think everybody would. I just hate seeing that kind of, you work it up to a certain spot, and then it's like, and then they get rid of somebody. And I think at the time, the Tigers were losing, but you knew a rebuild was on the horizon just because of the way they played, since they were in the World Series when they got rid of everybody. I think I think he was more of a Dombrowski guy, and I felt like they just needed a complete change. So I don't know. I mean, Hinch was here when Avila was here. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it. I can't say it was Al Avila's fault by no means. I'm not gonna blame that on him.
I just wanted to throw that out there for everybody. And Harrison is okay. I mean, he's worked in the business before. He knows. I think he knows what he's doing. But I'm just saying, don't forget.
Well, it's kind of like
those are your key pieces.
yeah.
You know.
Well, it's kind of like when Les Moss was the Tigers manager in the late '70s, and basically managed Trammell, Parrish, all those guys, and they didn't know where they were going with Sparky
in the beginning.
In the beginning,
in the very beginning.
So, yeah. I mean, shoot, the Tigers playing well. You can't. I read an article today that if Sweeney keeps going, that he could probably be. It's going to be hard to take him out of the lineup.
That's what you want.
Well, here's my thing. I like Sweeney. I liked him when he was with the Yankees. I thought he was a good draft pick for them, and then he was a big key piece trading him to the Dodgers, and then we picked him up. I like it. I mean, that whole Flaherty to the Dodgers last year, we got two really good players out of it, and then we got Flaherty back.
Yeah.
But Flaherty, I hope he, I think they just got to work. He's got to work through some things, but they're not really scoring a ton of runs for him.
No.
When you really go back and look at it, you know what I'm saying?
That's baseball, though. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. You can do. He's not pitching extremely well, but sometimes you get into one of those funks where your lights out and you're not getting any run support, or you're getting all the run support and you're getting bombed. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of the nature of the beast. But they are playing very, very, very good baseball.
I mean, they're scoring runs.
Well, I said in the beginning, let me give myself some credit here.
Okay.
Remember first show, I believe it was first or second show. Mm-hmm. I said if Baez and Torkelson have any kind of thing going, these would be the results. I said that in the beginning of the show. Now, the question is, how long will Baez is their best player.
I'm going to be honest
right
with you.
now.
My dad, who's been on the show earlier this year, we talk. He calls me up every morning on the way to work, and he first thing, hey, did you see the Tigers last night? That's all we talk about, right? So I'm looking at these. It is funny, but I always said this. I thought maybe the move to center field for Javi Baez was kind of like the cherry on top to get him back to where I think maybe it frees him up a little bit, where he doesn't have to maybe makes him more relaxed. I mean, he's a veteran and everything else like that, but he's playing center field. He's playing great out there in center field.
Well, he's our best center fielder. I don't care if Meadows comes back. I don't care if he comes back. Baez is the best.
But do you think he had that hip surgery in the offseason? It could have been maybe the last couple of years that hip was bothering him,
could have been.
And then him playing shortstop, having to be probably, bending down a little more.
Well, it could.
You know what I'm saying? The ball comes at you a lot faster at shortstop than it does in center field.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, the Tigers are playing great baseball. I'm still not digging the strikeouts now.
Too many.
Riley's got 82, Corkelson 81, Kerry Carpenter's up there with 78.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that's.
Oh, I'm sorry, 49, 44, and 27.
That's going to be.
Yeah.
That's going to be. Those are going to be late issues.
It could be.
I think those are going to be. But
Torkelson's leading the Tigers with 11 homers and RBIs. How about Zach McKinstry? Leading the Tigers in on-base percentage, 371.
Yeah, they're definitely getting it done. And like I said, another thing I said, I'm gonna give myself some more credit here. I said if they win series, which is anything, they win the series that they're supposed to win.
Well, that's what I like it. They're actually, when you look at these series, like, they lost the one with Texas.
They lost to Texas and Houston. Nobody mentioned those.
Right.
And then they came back and went and demolished the Angels and
And the Red Sox. And
Baltimore.
swept the Rockies, which
Baltimore.
wasn't,
Yeah.
But this is,
But that's still business.
Yeah, they're taking care of business, and it's not. They kind of like they're rolling from last year. They're just keeping. They're just playing the game. It's still you still don't have like. To me, it's still not a solid lineup like the Yankees had back in the day with Rodriguez and Jeter and that kind of thing at Posada and But it's not your Tiger 84 Tigers either. With you had Whitaker, you had those guys that solidified those positions.
Yeah, and they were superstars.
And
you don't have any of that. And that's why you got to applaud Hinch. I keep saying he's top 3, could be 1 in baseball. So, yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't think it's pick up where they left off last year.
You don't think so?
I think it's because Cleveland stopped the roll. I think it's a lot of Hinch, a lot of refocus, and a lot of let's show them that wasn't a fluke.
Okay,
that's what I think it is.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? I think it's take us serious,
right?
Because I still think that was kind of like last year. Oh wow, nobody saw that coming. Kind of like, oh man, these kids they're gritty, have nothing to play for, house is money. Now it's take us serious.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Do you feel like Gleyber Torres is taking a step even above what he was playing with the Yankees since he's been here?
Well, I mean,
he's batting .289. He's playing some good baseball.
He's an average defender. He's a
but they're playing good defense.
Yeah,
so.
They are.
They really are.
They are. And I said that. We said that in the beginning.
Right.
They got to catch the ball.
Right.
And those two guys who they want to be the leader of their franchises have to be the leaders. Torres, he's an extra. He's gonna put the bat on the ball. He is. He's just that type of player.
Right.
The average may not be a clean 300 or whatever, but he's gonna put the bat on the ball. And he's like I said, he's solid. He's not a great defender. He's solid. And that's make the plays that you're supposed to make. Don't give extra outs. When you're supposed to get 3 outs, get 3 outs. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Hinch he's picking his spots. He's doing his managerial stuff. He's putting it here. He knows where to put the pieces. I think if they have a different manager, they're not doing this.
No.
No way.
No. Hinch really knows how to play small ball.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's doing great. Skubal, he's just been a nightmare. He's up to 71 strikeouts as of today. He's fanning 11 in 9 innings. But Flaherty's throwing 11 in 9 innings too. So he's up there. Flaherty, when you look at his record, he's 1-5 on the year.
Yeah, he's got to get better.
He's only had one quality start. Skubal's at 4-2. Mize, who went on the disabled list or the injured list, is 6-1. Olsen at 4-3. Jackson Jobe, who, he said in the beginning he's just trying to, not try to blow it past guys. He's just trying to throw his best stuff and make a miss, and that's what he's been doing.
You got to learn how to pitch.
Yeah.
That's it. Just learn how to pitch. He's doing it. I mean, they'll get him together. He'll be fine.
Tommy Conley, another Yankee that came over in the offseason, pitching well. And then Chase Lee, who they just brought up, pitching well. They got rid of Maeda, as you know, which is, he had his troubles here and he couldn't figure it out. And that it is what it is. It just happens. But looking at the Tigers, I really feel like this is a team that has that kind of magic to them. Like it kind of has that bless you boy magic to it. I mean, it's not the 35-5 start, but you know, they're winning. They're winning games. It's not like they're blowing people out, but yet when they're behind, they're coming back to win. So you're seeing everything. It's not like they have to be in a certain position. They're really running the full gamut, so to speak, in scoring runs, not giving up. Do you think it's the Lions' grit that's kind of that magic from last year? I mean, it's sprinkled on the Tigers, it's sprinkled on the Red Wings a little bit, and definitely the Pistons.
No,
it's like a virus, a winning virus going on.
No, because the Tigers can actually go win a playoff series. The Lions didn't win a playoff game. They can't. But like this, the Tigers win a World Series before the Lions win the Super Bowl.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of that,
Absolutely.
the schedules were released, and
Lord.
according, it was a Bleacher Report gave a win-loss prediction.
Hold on before you go there.
Yeah.
Let me give a shout out to Baez.
Okay.
Because everybody hated him, wanted to run him out of town, throw him under the bus. He was nothing. The guy needs to go. Now everybody loves him.
Yeah.
So he did something. Like you said, it could have been injury, could have been refocus, could have been, I don't know. Whatever it was, he's proven. And he's always wanted to play center field, even with the Cubs. So this isn't something new. But congratulations to him. Like I said in the beginning, if he can do what he did back in, Chicago or whenever he was an all-star, lead the team, play unselfish, this is the the fruit.
So if Meadows comes back, where do you throw him? Left field?
I don't care. I'm not moving Bias. Pitch him. I don't know. Do what?
And then you got Veerling coming back.
Yeah, I would.
You know what?
Veerling's going to third. Veerling's going to play mostly third.
But do you feel like
I can't move that. This is.
it's almost like something you can't fool with.
You can't do it. You can't do it. And I don't think Hinch will do it. I don't think he will. I really don't.
I think you put him in left. You put Meadows in left,
And Riley over in.
or Meadows in right, and then you DH Carpenter,
See,
like you were originally going to do.
Yeah.
Torkelson's playing good at first. He's hitting well. He kind of rejuvenated himself. So when these guys get back, then you have basically Torres at second, and then kind of plug and play, so to speak, at short with Sweeney. But hey, if Sweeney's going to keep playing this way, it's going to be hard to take him out. And we talked about that.
Yeah. See, the problem is the Tigers have all their players can do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All of them can play outfield, infield. They're all utility players. They have a team full of utility players.
Yeah.
With a monster on the mound.
Yeah.
A monster ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of aces, Fred 6-0, I think 7-0 for the Yankees. Yep, Max. Cy Young.
Yeah.
Here we go. We needed it.
We'll see.
Yeah, but Tiger, they have too many players that do the same thing. And this is a good problem, though. This is a good problem.
It is a good problem to have. It definitely is.
Everybody's hitting, you know what I mean? They go from first to third. They're doing,
Yankees?
Yeah.
25-18.
Yeah. Judge is the best player in baseball. Let's get that out of the way. He's the best player in baseball.
Well, since we last looked also,
He's got a hit in the playoffs.
the Mariners are on top in the West.
Listen,
Mariners,
Kansas City's
Astros,
Cleveland ain't going nowhere.
Kansas City, they're 4.5. Even with the Tigers at 29-15, they're only
Cleveland, they're
4.5.
only
They're only 3.5 above Cleveland.
Right.
They have, if I'm not mistaken, they have Cleveland after this road trip because tomorrow night they're playing the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
In Toronto.
So this division could shape up to be the best division right now. Out west, National League West, but American League East was last year. They stink.
Right.
Everybody else over there stinks except the Yankees. So they're out. Cleveland, Kansas City, Royals. I don't think the Twins are going to do much, but yeah, those three teams are in there. That's a fight. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
it's shaping. I mean, really, the only teams that aren't doing anything when you look at the standings so far.
I mean, the Twins have 24 wins.
Yeah,
Everybody's over 500 except the White Sox.
White Sox, Angels dipped down. They're 17-25. They just lost one of their starting relief pitchers. Well, not starting relief pitchers. Their main relief pitcher that throws pretty good. He's out for the season. Miami, Pittsburgh, and Colorado. Colorado's the only team with less than 10 wins. They're at 7-36, and they just fired Bud Black. So they're on a full rebuild. You know what? You know what's so funny though? I think maybe when you look at this with them tanking the way they are, the Rockies, Tigers need a third baseman, right? Why not bring in somebody off that team that could help you out off the Rockies? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's teams that are kind of tanking, and they've already been talking about another place. I think it was John Morosi was talking about. They still have rumblings that Nolan Arenado could end up in town by the trade deadline.
That would be a good thing.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing. That would be a good thing. I don't know what they're tanking for. What, a first round pick or what? I mean, what?
I don't know. The Rockies have been the Rockies for years.
Wow.
They've had some good teams, and
Yeah.
but
Bad product.
yeah. So as I was saying before, the Lions, or I should say, Bleacher Report came out with win-loss predictions for every NFL team after the 2025 schedule release. Wow. So, well, where do you think? Well, I'll save that. Let's look at these other teams first. So Arizona, that's where Will went to.
Shot to Will.
Where do you think they have them, their record as what it's listed as?
8 wins.
You did. 8 and 9. Yeah. The Atlanta Falcons.
8 wins.
Yep. 8 and 9. Where do you think they got the Baltimore Ravens?
13-3.
Close. 12 and 5. What do you think they have Buffalo at?
13-3.
13 and 4.
I mean 4. Yeah. Sorry.
Yep. And where do you think they have the mighty Carolina Panthers?
6 wins.
They got them at 5. You over projected there. Where do you think they have your beloved Chicago Bears?
10 wins.
5 and 12.
That's insane. I got them at 10 wins.
10 wins. You really think they're going to come out with 10 wins?
Yep.
That's a lot.
10 wins. This is the mighty Ben Johnson, with all the offensive line help and the running back help and the wide receiver help. And this is make or break for the quarterback.
What do you think?
They better win 10 games.
Oh, I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong thing. They were 5 and 12 last year.
Right.
10 and 7.
10 wins.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm still not sold on Benny. 9 and 8 record for the Bengals last year. What do you think they got them this year?
10 wins.
9 and 8. A lot of 500 teams, or just above 500. Where do you think they have the Browns?
5 wins.
They'll have them as 4. Where do you think they have your beloved Cowboys?
10 wins.
9 and 8.
Tough schedule. Newness. Although, very good draft. Very good wide receiver addition.
Where do you think they have the Broncos this year? Now, they had them at 10 and 7. Well, they were 10 and 7 last year. What do you think?
10 and 7.
I got them at 9 and 8. Now this is the big thing. So the Lions were 15 and 2. Where do you think they have them this year?
10.
9 and 8.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at the schedule, but that schedule is not easy.
No.
They start off in Lambeau
You're cooked.
first week.
That schedule.
And the second week, I believe there's Jared. Put it up there.
You're cooked.
Yeah, you got the Bears week 2, the Ravens week 3. Yeah, it's my birthday weekend, September 22nd. And then you got the Browns. You could
lose
listen,
4 of those games. Easy.
I don't think you're losing to the Browns.
No, gosh, no. You're not. You better not lose to the Browns.
But listen, you
can lose to the Bengals. Absolutely.
Now, I kind of like the fact that they're playing Green Bay early. That kind of bodes well for them, even though they've played, they played in Green Bay pretty well throughout the year.
But here's the thing with that schedule: those are road games.
Yeah.
They
only have 8. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I think it's 8. They have to go on the road 9 times this year.
So Green Bay, they're away, right?
Green Bay, they start off in Green Bay.
That's a loss.
And then I believe that is a home game against the Bears. They could win that game.
They could win, but you could lose it.
That's true.
Week 3, you're losing away. You're losing in Baltimore. Week 4, you win. Week 5 away, you lose. There's no answer for Chase and the other kid, Higgins.
You're really going that far, huh?
Look. Okay, so Browns, you win. Burrow, you lose. The game that started all this madness when Kelsey and Jones was out, you won that one. You won't win this one. You lose. Kansas City's pissed off.
Do you think right? But I think Kansas City's kind of on the downslide.
Nope.
I'm not saying Mahomes is on the downslide.
That's what they want everybody to think.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
I don't know.
Can
you bring that back up, Jared? I just want to look at it one more time. So, looking at it, so then you got the Buccaneers. This isn't going to be easy.
That's always a tough out.
And then you also have
Minnesota after that.
Minnesota.
You probably win that because I don't know what the quarterback situation. You lose to Washington. They showed you.
I don't know, man. I think.
Okay.
I listen. You kind of went out on a limb with all this last year, and they kind of proved you wrong.
No, I did not. Their schedule was easier. No, remember they didn't play any good quarterbacks last year. These are all good quarterbacks.
They played Love. They played Baltimore last year.
Love was hurt.
They played Mahomes.
Love was hurt. They didn't play Mahomes. They didn't play Kansas City last year. They played Lamar. Lamar beat you. Buffalo beat you. Good quarterbacks. The only quarterback that they really had, your guy beat them. Tampa beat them. The only one they beat was Stafford in the first one. They should have lost that. They didn't. That's the thing. And Love was hurt. You could have lost to Chicago.
Love. I'm gonna go on. I'm not even gonna go on a limb. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not.
You're not sold
on Love.
Well, you've never been, but you will be.
I don't know.
You will be.
I don't know. I'm not gonna give that credit yet. I haven't seen it.
Well, the reason why your season's over already, the 2 coordinators and this tough schedule.
I still can't say. I think it's somebody going on a limb and saying they're going to be 9-8.
That's hard. That's good. That's still a good record. Let's stop acting like you guys are used to going 15-16, all that. Come on now. That's a good record for that division and that schedule.
I still think you can.
I got him at 10.
Listen, I still think you could pretty much run the gamut in the North. I think you could. I think they could beat them twice.
Because you got to think everybody drafted better than them.
Well, so everybody thinks.
Chicago, Love.
So everybody thinks.
All right.
Like you said, you still have these guys are rookies. You don't know how much big of an impact Loveland's going to be right out the rip.
No. Chicago. Well, I think Chicago is going to be offensively good.
Okay.
They were bad and they almost beat you last year. Almost doesn't count, but they could have beat you last year. Okay. Their coach Eberflus is a mess. They have your guy's beloved Ben Johnson. Now everybody thought he was a genius, right? So now he goes over there with a more talented quarterback, younger, running game, offensive line, wide receivers and the defense is good. Why wouldn't the Bears win 10 games? It's all up to Caleb and Ben Johnson.
No,
Rams.
No.
They always tough out you. Minnesota, you probably split.
I'm still not sold on the Rams, and I love Stafford, but I just don't feel like they have that.
I know they could beat you. They could. And they're saying they will. All of those games are losable, except the Giants and the Browns. Dallas is reloaded. When you played them, everybody was hurt last year. Everybody was hurt. The defense, the receivers, the corner, everybody was hurt. Everybody's healthy. That's a tough schedule. And Dallas had a great draft, by the way. I understand that. They got the running back. Everybody's going to try to do the Saquon and Jameer stuff. They got this home run hitter out of Texas, running a 4.3. He's a home run hitter. You got a four-headed monster in the back. Ferguson, top 5 tight end. Easy. That's a terrible schedule for you. It's terrible. It's a gauntlet.
Well,
it's a gauntlet.
Listen,
Baker plays you tough. He might. He always beats you.
You thought this. I think you said a lot of you. If we were to roll back the tape from
Roll
last
it back.
year, you would have said the Lions were going to win.
I had him at 9. I had him at 9 wins last year.
Well, that was like what, 7 wins less than what they ended up coming out to be.
Right. I had him at 9. Like I said, a lot of them were games that when they played tough quarterbacks, they didn't beat them. Every team over there has a good quarterback, just about. When they play, you know what Washington did, do you? 60. He put up 60 points. And your coordinators are gone. That's a problem. See, people don't understand how much that is. I said last year, I heard on the radio the other day, Ben is connected to Goff, not Campbell to Goff. Now you got to start all this over.
I still don't think it's going to be that much of a leap.
Okay.
I don't.
So you think they're going to win 15 games again?
I think they can win double digits. I think 9 and 8 is kind of low.
Vegas got them at 10.
I think. Listen, you can say what you want about Love. I'm not sold on him. Mm-hmm. I'm not sold on Caleb yet. Mm-hmm. You know, looking at that too. Browns don't have a quarterback. Listen, you can say what you want about the Ravens. We played the Ravens pretty well. It's not going to be a blowout.
They beat you all the time.
Well, they don't have their 54-yard kicker anymore either. They got rid of him, Justin Tucker. That was the guy that won when they won at the last second.
Well, you guys have no answer. You have no answer for Lamar. They're a better team now, too. They're a better team than they were before. You can't. You know you're not going to beat Lamar at home. You're not going to do it. And you're outdoors. These games are outdoors.
Yeah. Well, we know you're negative, Nelly, on the Lions. It's
I gave them 10 wins. What you want me to do? I gave them 10 wins. That's enough. That's a hard schedule, man.
No, it is, because you got to play. You got to play what? And I'll be honest with you. I still think they can beat Washington. The Lions didn't have anybody defensively. You talk about they didn't. Dallas didn't have anybody. Everybody was injured for Dallas.
Offense and defense.
I mean, defense was. The Lions were kind of decimated with injuries. Coming up in that.
But nobody thought that. You guys all thought Washington was a cakewalk.
I never said they were a cakewalk.
Your quarterback threw 5 interceptions. You keep forgetting that. That's not the defense played well enough to win. The pressure is on your quarterback and your offensive coordinator again this year.
Well, I like to see.
The quarterback threw 5 interceptions.
I still like to see what they're going to do. I'm interested. I like I said, I'll come up with my predictions as we roll into.
Listen, 10 games is a lot.
Camp.
That's a good season, Scott. That's a good season. The Dallas game is winnable. You can beat Dallas. That could go either way. The Rams game can. Some of these either ways are going to go the other way. You know what I'm saying? 10 wins. That's good. Vegas knows something.
I still think though the Lions are a team. You keep forgetting this. The Lions have played well the last couple of years, and they're bringing back Hutchinson. Hopefully, and listen, these guys. You're not going to have. At least you hope. But the chances of you having the injuries that you did last year, this year, is probably not going to. And look at what they did with, Anzalone was out, Hutchinson was out, all these guys were out, and they still put up the wins that they did. I'm just saying. I just think that's a low total for the Bleacher Report, 9-8. I think that's low.
Tough
I
schedule,
do.
man. I give them 10. I give them 10. The defense, even with those guys coming back, they're not a great defense. They're not. And you don't have a great quarterback. You don't. 10 wins with that schedule? That's brutal. New coordinators is going to make a difference.
The Texans going into the AFC, they're projected at 9-8.
That's right. That's about maybe 8.
The Colts are projected at 4-13.
That's right.
Guess what? They're actually thinking that the AFC South division winner will be Jacksonville.
Yeah. They stink. It stinks over there.
Well, it does.
So that's possible.
But they have them at 10-7.
Yeah. Chiefs win the West again.
Well, they have the Chiefs this year at 12-5. So nobody's really going out on a
Nobody's
limb
doing that 15
on any of these.
Yeah.
They have the Raiders at 7-10.
That's fair.
They also have the Chargers winning the West at 13-4.
No. Not yet. Not yet. They could, but I don't think so this year.
Looking at the West and the NFC, they have the Rams at 11-6. Dolphins they have at 7-10.
That's right. Dolphins stink.
Let's see. They have the Vikings at 8-9. I
think that's
I just want to
to
see what I think JJ will be their guy, but he's a rookie, so we're going to have to see. I mean, granted, he's got great receivers, but so did Darnold. Darnold threw to those guys, and that didn't. You got to get the ball to him and not throw interceptions. I'm not saying JJ. I think JJ is going to be a good quarterback in this league. I just don't see him being a superstar. I just don't.
Well, he's not. First of all, he's not going to be a superstar quarterback. There's quarterbacks that came out way better, before him that are better that were projected to be superstars, and they're not. JJ is not athletic. He doesn't have a great arm, and he's a rookie. He doesn't have get away from you, and he came from a system where the quarterback didn't have to throw.
True.
So, I mean, I never was high on JJ. I liked his grit and his gut, but I was never high on him as just a sit back, pick you apart type athletic guy. So it's going to be tough. So that's about right. Now, he may come in with a chip on his shoulder and, you never know.
They have the Patriots at 9-8. I mean, you're talking a whole
8.
new thing there, too.
I would say 8.
So basically what you're saying is
It's mediocre football players.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it is across the board. That's because you have a whole bunch of mediocre quarterbacks.
They have the Saints at 3-14.
Right.
The Giants they have at
4-13. Right.
The Jets and Aaron Glenn they have them at 7-10.
Right. Or maybe 6-11.
The Eagles they have them at
for.
12-5 and the East Division winner again.
No. 12-5. Yeah, that's right.
You think they're going to win the East again?
I think they will. Because even with the new stuff that Dallas has going on, you still got to – it'll be between them and Dallas. I don't think Washington will win the East. It will be in that Dallas has a better roster now. But I think the Eagles still win the East. But Dallas gets in.
They have the Steelers at 6-11.
Right.
Okay. The 49ers, 9-8.
Right. Got rid of the Debo foolishness. They'll be back.
Seattle, they have at 7-10.
Right.
The Buccaneers at 9-8.
Right.
The Titans, 4-13.
Right.
Commanders, they have at 10-7.
Right. Right.
Interesting.
That's about right. I see a lot of 10-7. I see a lot of 10-7s.
But there's not really a big stretch when you think about it, though. There's not a big stretch between a 10-7 team and a 9-8 team.
One game.
Right. I mean, it's not like these predictions here, I think, when you look at it,
And go back to the Lions. The reason why the Lions they're not in that 12 or whatever because of the schedule. They want to give them that, but that schedule, they're just banking on that schedule. I got them at 10 wins. But they're going off the schedule. That's what Vegas is going off.
Well, we will see.
Yeah. It's going to be a good season.
We will definitely see on that.
It's going to be a good season.
So, listen, I know what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Since it's sports related. And I talked to Doc.
It's a sports show.
I talked to Doc yesterday.
What is Doc? Let me guess. The Tigers are going to win the World Series.
Well, no, we didn't talk about that. Listen, Detroit is having a Detroit Sports Spectacular. And I wanted you to go with me.
Oh, yeah.
It's at the Somerset Place. Not Somerset Place.
Suburban.
The Rock Financial.
Oh.
Over there off
In
in
Novi?
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, I think I'm going to get me some autographs. This is a 3-day event.
Tell the people
And you know me, I'm a baseball collector, so I love it.
Yep.
But listen to these players that are going to be there. J.J. McCarthy, Barry Sanders, Bill Lambier, Calvin Johnson, Miggy Cabrera, Aiden Hutchinson, Jared Goff, Reggie Jackson, Dennis Rodman, St. Brown, Amon-Ra, Armando Galarraga. You're also confirmed as Jahmyr Gibbs, Michael Penix Jr., Corum, Alan Trammell, Kenneth Walker III, Lori Petty, her from League of Their Own, Brian Branch, Brett Hull, Wade Boggs,
The Machine.
Christian Leitner,
My favorite.
Chelios, and if I'm not mistaken, I also read
How much?
to get in.
Yeah.
It's not that much. It's to get in. I mean, obviously, to get autographs, it's gonna. You have to pay to get those. But I need to get I need to have a couple of rookie cards signed, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get Trammell and I already have Luz. Mm-hmm. I got Luz at a card show about a year ago, and I'll tell you. These are some really good. I mean,
those some Hall of Famers.
I mean, they're going to have.
Those are some legends.
And I think I might even try to look at all these Lions.
Yeah.
McNeil, Robertson, Terrion, Bates.
They're all there?
My guy, I got to get my Lions.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're going to be there for this.
Well, I don't need. I mean, those, I don't.
And I think this is Sunday's guess.
Bates is your guy. Okay, that's okay. But all the Terrion, I'm okay.
And they're going to have Jason Hansen.
Yeah.
Who else? And Eddie Murray.
Wow.
All three Lion kickers.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope.
I thought so.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I want to see Leitner.
Well, I think he's going to be. Let me see. Let me check the Saturday guests, because this is so. Lambier will be there Saturday. Actually, Reggie, I got a couple of Reggie Jackson cards. Like that would be a good autograph.
That's cool.
Of course, in order to get an autograph for him, it's a 200. It's a 2-ball. It's a 2-ball.
That's because he's a straw that stirs the drink.
Wade Boggs,
hitting machine. One of the best hitters ever to play baseball.
Of course, he's a lot cheaper than Reggie. How much is too much for an autograph? Would you say?
$200.
You think that's too much?
Yeah, $50 at least. I mean, come on.
Well, here's some of the bad boys: Rodman, Aguirre, Mahorn. These guys are going to be there.
Nice.
Let's see.
And this is over the weekend, right?
This is a 3-day event.
Okay.
Jack, see now. Here's when. So Saturday's where I think when I'm going to go, because Trammell will be there, and Morris, and those are 2 Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm. You got a lot of Hall of Famers on there.
So yeah. So I'm trying to see how much I'm going to have to pay up on these. $89, I think I'm going to have to pay for a Jack Morris autograph, but it's worth it. I think so.
Yeah.
And 89 for Tram. I've already gotten Lou's. George Foster. Remember George Foster?
Yep.
He's going to be there.
Yep.
The Polish Rifle, Ron Jaworski.
Ron Jaworski.
This is a really cool event.
Yeah.
Miggy is going to be there on Friday, along with David Montgomery. Tommy Hearns will be there. Billy Sims will be there on Friday.
Wow.
We talked about him a lot over
Nice.
the Roar.
Yep. That's interesting.
It is.
What's the date?
It is.
What's the
Denny
start?
McClain's going to be there. Oh, he free autograph, one per person. He'll be.
What's the start date?
The start date is May 30th, which is 2 weeks
Okay.
from today. No, is it? No, it's 2 weeks from Friday.
It's a Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
No, that's a weekend after.
Weekend
Memorial
after.
Day.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I we've talked about that before on the show, on the Cohen Bro Opinion Show. But I thought that was when I seen it, I was just
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool
be
event.
able to go there to see him,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
walk around.
Some legends in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun to be able to see all those players in one, section.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I don't have to.
yeah. That is cool.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
Yep. We got to get Doc back on the show.
Yeah, we do. Doc's been busy, as you know. He's always busy.
Yep.
What else did you have for us tonight on the show?
What about your man Pete getting in? Eligible.
I'm glad you brought that up. That was listen.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Listen, I heard
And
so
Pete.
many people saying that Pete did it to himself, which okay, he did. He knew the consequences. I heard Rob Parker's ran on it.
What did he say? What did
Rob Parker basically said, he doesn't think that he should get in. That, Pete knew what he was doing, and he gambled himself out of the Hall of Fame. That it was a strict no policy about betting, blah blah blah. Then I also read that at one point, Bart Giamatti told him, listen, I'll give you a year's suspension. You admit that you gambled. You stay out of baseball for a year, and all is done. He decided not to do that, and look what happened. So now he has been ineligible till after his passing. I mean, listen, you can't have a Hall of Fame and not have Pete Rose in it.
Did Pete Rose ever
I don't believe he
gamble
ever
while
betted
he was playing? Was that ever proven?
while he played. No, I think as a manager, but I don't think it ever came out that he gambled
On his own team.
for his team to lose. Listen, I just think I think you almost have to have these players in because everything you see now is FanDuel, this, that. Every commercial is, what are you going to bet? I mean, if it was that bad to where, they took a staunch stance on no gambling, nothing, and then not even have commercials for it, they're not going to let that. Then I would say, yeah, all right, keep them out. But even Barry Bonds said the same thing about Pete. Barry Bonds basically said, everybody was shooting steroids in the 90s, which I can believe that. Do you think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I do too.
I mean,
Listen,
of course he's going to say he did it.
right. But Barry Bonds made a point that he's probably one of the, when you look at his stats and hits and home runs.
He's a Hall of Famer before.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer before.
But I mean, even with his
And the
after
timeline.
the point.
Yeah, the
timeline
The timeline
after.
that he said he did it before he was a nightmare.
yeah, I think he should be in the Hall.
Pete Rose playing baseball has nothing to do with him gambling. It's against the rules, yeah. I don't know. You fine him hefty, like you said. You can't.
But I think he was.
I
think he was. He just was because of the what they did in the early 1900s with Mountain Landis, basically banning the Black Sox, and banning them for life.
Yeah.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
I just think that was kind of like that's the way it was, and he just happened to get caught up in it. And I think now that they kind of loosen the shoestring, so to speak, and then like I said, it'd be different if it was no gambling, nothing. But that's all you see and hear now.
That's it.
And there's advertisements for it.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it last year. I mean, on the Roar when J-Mo a year or so ago was suspended for betting on NCAA March Madness.
Right.
So I listen. I think Pete should be in the Hall. He should have been. It's kind of it makes me sad that he couldn't have been there to get in and do his Hall of Fame speech. I had read I listened to a podcast called Lost Ballparks, and they were doing an interview with George Murphy, who was a broadcaster, and he basically was saying that he knew Pete Rose really well, and that Pete told him, hey, if you ever get in, he goes, man, I already have my Hall of Fame speech written, so maybe somehow he gets in. I wonder if he'll be in next year now that they put him in. But here's my thing. You put Pete in, does that mean automatically that Shoeless Joe Jackson should go in? I still think Lou Whitaker needs to be in the Hall. Why is it that the committee, I mean, you might have more of an understanding.
No,
why is it the committee seems to just give Lou the shaft? I mean, it's when you look at other Scott Rollins or whatever you want to call him, is in the Hall of Fame.
Scotty Rollins.
And Lou Whitaker's not. I was looking at the some of the people that are in the Hall. Dave Parker just made it. Dave Parker just made it into the Hall this year. But the Cobra was great. He was good.
Listen.
Lou Whitaker should be in the Hall.
First of all, again, I can say this again, sweet Lou Whitaker. Okay? So there's only one other second baseman better than Lou. I keep saying it. Like Isaiah not on the Dream Team, Lou not in the Hall, it's the same thing. Robbie Alomar is the best second baseman ever to play. Then Lou Whitaker, then Joe Morgan. The stats are there. Joe Morgan's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Joe Morgan's a great player. Lou Whitaker's stats, defensively, is not even close.
Yeah.
It's not.
I agree with you.
It's not.
I couldn't agree more. I feel like, I don't know. It's almost like
It doesn't make sense.
I don't feel like this Hall of Fame stuff is. You can't say it's if you have to. It's a popularity thing.
Yeah, it's a one vote. Like Lou wasn't popular, but
and why does the sports writers have the say so on it? And why does it have to be 75 or 76%?
Yeah, we revisit this. Either you can play or you're not. Either you're great or you're not. Like again, when Jeet got in, one person didn't vote, 1% off. Why? That's dumb. It's dumb. Rivera's the only 100% shoe-in. Lou in I don't get it.
So do you think the Hall of Fame should have qualifications? I mean, do you do it that way?
Yeah, stats.
You have to have so many hits but do you have to have so many home runs automatically get you in? Do you have to have a certain batting average? I mean, how do you what is all the I like to know what all the qualifications are.
Well, it's a little bit of everything.
That goes into it.
A little bit of all of it. But you sound like you're saying, like, if you get this number, you're in. Are you saying that?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, because then you have guys like home run wise. Everything before was like, if you had over 500 home runs, you were a shoo-in to get into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not the case now. Barry Bonds, McGuire, Sosa.
Well, they all got over 500.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Before it was if you had, I used to hear that growing up. Oh, he's a shoe-in for the Hall of Fame. He's got over 500 home runs. And then you've seen for pitchers, I think it was if you had 300 wins, you were a shoe-in.
To me, it's definitely likable. Some of it is like.
It has to be
Because Jim Tomey's in, right?
I'm going to find out.
I think he just got in.
I will. I'm going to look this up real quick.
Jim Tomey's in. Who would you rather have, Lou Whitaker or Jim Tomey?
Oh, Lou Whitaker.
Okay.
I mean, but that's me.
That's what I'm saying.
That's me being a Detroit kid.
I'm saying it's likable. Like people like Jim Tomey. That's what I'm saying. If you're saying like, what's the qualifications? That could be a part of it.
So I'm going to bring this up because I did look at this the other day. Best non-Hall of Famers at every position. Not in the Hall, Bill Freehand, catcher. Not in the Hall, first baseman, Rafael Palmeiro.
Steroids.
Honorable mentions. McGuire. Mattingly's not in the Hall. Todd Helton's not in the Hall. Pujols is not in the Hall. Cabrera's not eligible yet.
Pujols isn't eligible, I don't think. Not yet. He's going.
Oh, yeah, Pujols and Cabrera are not eligible yet. But there was still talk about him with steroids, Pujols, a little bit.
A little bit, but I think it came out he was okay.
So the number one second baseman, obviously not in the Hall, is Lou Whitaker, according to this. And listen, after him,
I get tired of talking about Lou.
I get tired. Listen,
It's ridiculous.
Whitaker belongs to a group of players and is the only second baseman besides Jackie Robinson who finished their careers at least 200 batting runs, 50 fielding runs, and 25 base running runs above average.
I'm not even going to get into the goal.
Here's some other people behind Lou that is not in as of yet. Jeff Kent. Bobby Grich.
I like Grich.
Chase Utley.
I like Chase.
Now, Dick Allen just got in. He was a third baseman. He just got in. But here's three honorable mentions: Craig Nettles, Ken Boyer, Sal Bando. Three from our time for sure that we watched growing up. Alex Rodriguez isn't in.
He won't get in. He won't get in. He won't.
I think you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He won't get in.
It sounded like your mic went up. So he won't get in at all because of the steroids.
Gold glove, shortstop, and third base. Second to go 40-40. 600 home runs, average close to 300. All-star, a million times. Good before the steroids. Hall of Fame before the steroids. In Seattle. All you got to do is look at that. But go ahead.
But is it funny? Isn't it weird, though, that you got a guy like A-Rod that, here's a guy, to me, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He should have been. But you have guys like, and it's just like, but he's allowed to do the pregame shows and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Right.
So other honorable mentions. Tell me what you think. Omar Vizquel.
Defensive wizard. Should be in.
Jimmy Rollins.
Jimmy Rowe was on the border.
Nomar Garciaparra.
Couldn't stay healthy.
Miguel Tejada.
Nope.
Jim Fregosi. I don't know. He was around us, but I don't know too much. I don't know too much about his stats. Yeah. So left field, obviously Barry Bonds is there. Pete Rose, and now he's eligible. We'll see. What about Manny Ramirez? No?
Talent. Too much chaos.
Center fielding. Carlos Beltran. Border. Kenny Lofton and Andrew Jones.
Andrew Jones, absolutely.
What about Kenny Lofton?
Border.
Why not?
Border.
You think he's border? Mm-hmm. Jim Edmonds.
Border. I loved Edmonds, though.
Dale Murphy.
Hall of Fame.
Okay, this is the right field now. Shoeless Joe. Okay, he's probably going to make it in. I'm sure. I bet you he makes it in the same time Pete Rose gets in.
Yeah.
They just do that together.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions: Sammy Sosa.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Even with all the home runs.
No.
Dwight Evans.
Dewey. I like Dewey. I would put him in.
Reggie Smith.
Porter.
Gary Sheffield.
Porter.
He's border too. Parker made it in. And Bobby Abreu.
I liked Abreu, but
And then Suzuki isn't eligible yet.
Suzuki, hands down.
Okay, for DH, and then we'll get off this topic. Hal McRae. I think so, man.
Maybe. I mean, if you're going to straight DH, probably could be.
Don Baylor.
He's a good DH.
Yeah.
He's a good DH.
And then of course they went into pitching. Here's some names that I want to get your opinion on. Clemens should be in, hands down.
No question.
He's kind of like, you can't tell me steroids,
No question.
that whole thing. And we've talked about this before. They knew those guys were doing stuff, the andro,
Right.
all that stuff, and it was never, ever,
Right.
ever spoken bad about, and then all of a sudden, boom. Mm-hmm. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So pitchers, Roger Clemens, we know. Schilling.
Schilling acts like Schilling was a good pitcher. He was a good pitcher, but I don't think his resume, the whole bloody stuff. If you ask him, yes, but I don't think Schilling should be there.
Tim Lincecum.
No.
I don't think he was out. I don't think it was. He had some great
Not
seasons.
enough body of work.
Louis Tien. He was around a long time. Is he a Hall of Famer, though?
I don't think.
Dave Stieb. Steve was kind of like.
It's kind of Morris's counterpart.
He was Morris's counterpart.
Yeah.
Kevin Brown.
No, not enough work.
David Cohn.
Coney, yes.
Okay. What about Oral Hershiser?
Yes.
Okay. Roy Oswalt.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are right-handed starting
Yeah.
pitching.
Yeah.
Left-handed starting pitching. Johan Santana. I think he was hurt too much.
Hurt too much.
He had some good, solid years. 3 straight Cy Youngs from 04 to 06. Honorable mentions.
Hurt too much.
Andy Pettit.
You know I loved him.
Mark Burley. No.
Porter.
Here's a guy. Ron Guidry.
The Gid. I say yeah with Guidry.
Here's one I'm kind of shocked that he's not in the Hall. Tommy John.
Yeah. Should be. I thought he should be there. I think he should be there.
Mickey Lolich isn't in the Hall.
I know.
There was a guy that had a long career.
Yeah.
And a successful career. He's very successful for for those 68 Tigers.
Yeah.
Another one, Jimmy Key.
I like.
Yeah.
I like Key a lot.
And, of course, CC Sabathia is not eligible yet.
CC can go. The Pirates. I mean, CC was, yeah.
How about this?
He won a lot of games.
Relief pitching. I'm surprised he's not in. Dan Quisenberry.
Yeah, I like Quiz. Quiz should be in.
Joe Nathan. Papelbon.
No.
Rodriguez.
That's a good one. That's tough.
And then the only other ones here, I remember Tom Gordon a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
I remember Tom Henke. Troy Percival.
Percival, yeah.
He was pretty dominant closer.
Yep. This one, there was no analytics.
And Kent Tecove
Kent Tecove.
from the Pirates.
Yeah.
From We Are Family.
We Are Family.
And how about John Wetland?
Wet should be in, I think. He did a lot of, he was nasty.
Yeah, those are honorable mentions. Left-handed reliefs. Billy Wagner is not in. Is that shocking?
Wow. Wagner not in? Okay.
Well, see, this is what I mean. Here's a debate. Should they say, instead of, all right, these are the people that are going in, should they have to nominate one of each position so there's 9 or 10 or 12 people that can get in? Or does that just become a cluster bleep, so to speak,
Yeah.
because then everybody can get in?
Yeah.
Or it makes it a little easier. But then again, everybody makes it into the NBA Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I'm in.
Right.
I never played. Honorable mention.
Right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so left-handed pitchers, Billy Wagner, John Franco, Sparky Lyle, Tug McGraw, and Randy Myers. So, yeah, talking about that.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Put Lou in the hall.
Did you have anything else before we
No. No, that was
ended this week?
No, we're fine. I mean, we're good. I thought, the big talk Pistons need a little extra help.
So let me
little-
ask you something.
play a
Before,
little,
Giannis,
less reckless.
do you think he could? I just don't know if I want to trade for Giannis. One of his landing spots. It's been talked about quite a bit on the radio. I've seen it and you've probably seen it too.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if I would. I want Giannis. I don't know if Giannis would be a fit here. He's 30. And what they have to give up, what I've seen they had to give up, I don't know if I'd be willing to give up all of that.
Well,
Why can't you just keep what you have and maybe pick up a couple extra pieces of what? I mean, listen. They could have easily beat a Knicks team in the playoffs this year. It's not like they got blown out.
made a lot of mistakes.
They did, but they're young.
Cade didn't make a lot. What you need is when Cade's off, you need another gun. Giannis would be the gun.
Giannis could be the gun, but to give up like Duran, Ivy, Holland, and 3 first-round picks, doesn't that just seem like? I know you're getting Giannis is.
I don't care about the picks. I don't care. I could care less about picks. Giving up, what you said like that. But for Giannis, he's 30. He's going to play for another 6-7 years. You got a rim protector. You get kind of an unstoppable. Giannis, he just can't shoot free throws. But you get a lot with Cade help. So the NBA is going to say, if you want to play big boy basketball, go get him. Go get him to get beyond the second round. I hear what you're saying.
I just feel like they went so far, and these guys are the guys that they're talking about giving up for Giannis. I feel like these guys can be. They're young too. Why don't you build that and then just add your pieces? Kind of like how the Pistons added Aguirre down the road. You know what I'm saying? And then they went out and got a Ben Wallace.
But
it wasn't anybody, or in Rashid.
Well, Rashid
I'm
was
sorry,
a star.
Rashid. Yeah,
Rashid was a star.
right.
So what you do, I mean,
I just feel like that is a lot. I mean, Duran played very well for them this year. Ivy is still kind of an unknown. He was playing well before he broke his leg. Holland kind of, is just kind of a spark plug, I thought.
but we always say,
Wouldn't you rather have more guys that were on the bench that can help you than have, let's say, a Giannis, and then you don't have those three guys that you can go to?
but see, those bench guys, can they score like Giannis? That's the thing. You always.
Well, but Giannis is getting older, 30.
He's still 30s,
We talked about peak years, 28 to 27?
He's a champion. He knows how to win.
That's
30,
true.
30 still relatively, once you get to like 34, 35.
But what I'm saying, though, is I think when you look at it, bringing superstars to your team doesn't automatically translate into winning a NBA championship. You seen Durant in the Suns, highest payroll in the NBA.
Yeah.
Took a dump in the bed, and no playoffs. How many times did it take LeBron to win in Miami when he went there?
Yeah, but he had a superstar.
Yeah.
So you need this. I believe in that. I'm a firm believer in that. You need the superstar.
Okay, but you said you need two superstars?
Yeah, two. You two. The only one that didn't was Zeke.
But do you think that could happen again?
Was what? What do you mean?
With just one superstar, and then you get the players around him?
No. It ain't gonna happen with Cade by itself. Not with that. Can't.
And you said you wouldn't want to see a Devin Booker here.
Devo, I like Devo, but rim protect, some length, rim protect, and Giannis can get to the rack. Giannis is, out of all the free agents, let me put it like that, I would get him, then Book. That's what I would do. If Giannis is, he would be the first one. They mentioned Zion. No.
Oh, God, no. I wouldn't want to see him.
They
here.
liked him
No.
because him and Trajan have a history over in New Orleans, and they saying Trajan can get him, where he needs to be. But
I don't
Giannis
think so, man.
Giannis is kind of a one-time. If you want to swing for the fence, that's him. That's him.
But do you more?
But the Pistons will still be okay without him. They just won't. I don't think they'll get over a championship hump. If they had Giannis, they beat the Knicks. They do.
Well, I think Giannis is a great ball.
Cade didn't make
great
shots
player.
down the end.
Yeah.
I
I don't know, man. I guess I'm looking at the long term.
Yeah.
Like, here you drafted well. These guys you drafted these guys, and then now you're kind of these guys. All three of those guys that were on that mock trade. And we talked about mock trades before.
Yep.
Most of them are bogus anyway. I just feel like that's a lot to give up.
Yeah.
For a superstar, which and like I said, I love Giannis. I think Giannis is great.
And keep in mind, you mentioned Durant's 36. He's 35.
But
Giannis is 30.
But do you think Giannis? I mean, think about it though. He's only won one, and Milwaukee kind of went into turmoil after.
Yeah.
after
So
that.
Doc Rivers got there.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's what
But they
happens.
got rid of the guy. They got rid of the head coach. That got him that won the championship for him with him because they couldn't get along. So do you think Giannis could fit well in the locker room with Bickerstaff?
The reason why is because he sees what they're doing. Everybody likes to jump onto a winner. Pistons are winning. They're young. Giannis is still 30. Yeah, he'll get along with Bickerstaff. Absolutely. I think he'll be fine with them. I think he'll be fine with them. He didn't get along with Dame. He had some issues. I think they had it, but he goes because the Pistons are structured better. There's no egos. So yeah, and they need some defense, some more defense to help. I think some length. So yeah, if you can get him. Why not?
Okay. Well, I think we've covered every sport thing here, other than the Red Wings.
Yeah.
But hey,
get to them next
we'll get to them next week. Well, listen, everybody, that'll wrap us up for the Roar Live today, right here on the MyMichiganTV.com and MyMichiganTV YouTube, and also the Kavana Broadcast Network. Thank you for coming along with us tonight. I am Scotty William, and that is Corey Tiez, and we will see you back here next week. We'll talk more Detroit sports next time. See you then.
Peace.